welcome to Chapter 5, Everyday Expenses Account. This is a great account, one of my favorites. Now remember, what we've done so far, I want you to take note of how far you've come. By the time we're to this account, I know we haven't actually opened the account yet. I know we haven't actually done anything, but in theory, now you've got it in your mind. By the time we've got to this account, what have we already done? Our values, what we value most with our dollars, has already been handled, and it's been handled automatically. Those monthly fixed expenses, saving, paying extra on the house, extra on credit card, all of that has been handled automatically. Our irregular expenses, we've set those up to where we're saving those dollars, or I don't know if you should call it saving. We're putting dollars into an account waiting for an expense that we know is going to occur. That's a better way to say it. We're not saving them. We're going to spend those, and we know we're going to spend them. We just don't know exactly when or how much, for all of those that we're going to spend. So that gets us to the everyday expenses account. Because what have we not done yet? Hey, we haven't eaten. Hey, we haven't put in gas in the car, and we're going to need to do those two things. I think those two things are very important. This account is a checking account because it will have debit card access. Remember to write the name, whatever you're going to call this account, doesn't matter to me. Just write it on the back of the account with a Sharpie is what I like, and I'll put a little piece of tape over it. And this is the card that we will use all the time for the everyday little expenses that occur. And for most of you, or for some of you at least, you're going to say, well, I know what goes in this account. It's just what's left. So I've handled my house payment. I'm putting dollars away for those irregular expenses, and the only thing that I can put in here is what's left, basically. And that's okay. If what it costs you to eat, to put gas in the car, maybe buy a few clothes, takes up everything that you put in this everyday expenses account, that is okay. Listen to me. If you spend every dollar in this expense account every month, there's no anxiety. Listen to me. There's no guilt. Why is there no guilt? Because you have to remember, you've already done the things you've determined in your heart to do, what makes you a good steward with the resources you've been given. You've already done it in the other two accounts. You've already done it. I know it feels like it should be hard or harder to do this good with money, but it's not. You can let go of the guilt if you spend every dollar that goes into this account every month. Now, I don't recommend taking the account to zero, but in theory, that's what we're talking about. And it's okay if that's all the dollars you have remaining, except for one little piece I want to talk about next. You've got to have a little bit for the next account, but in theory, most of your dollars you have remaining are going to come to this account, and likely you're going to spend them all. And that's okay. That's okay. Take a deep breath. Now, this account is very critical to have really good, excellent communication with your spouse or your partner or whomever is sharing this account with you. Because the only way we're managing this account is the dollars that come in here automatically and we debit card out of here, or we write a check to get them out of there. We're only managing those by watching them on our phone. It's important that your bank has an app that you can watch those dollars come out of there live. So you're always tracking the amount of dollars that's in that account, because that's the only way you're managing it. You're looking at how many dollars you have in the account, divided by how many days are left in the month. So let's say you've got $200 in the account and 10 days left. Well, that means you can only average $20 a day for the rest of the month in this account. If you spend $20, if you spend $40 on day one of that remainder of days, then you're going to have to cut down your spending the rest of the days. If you don't spend any that day, well then guess what? What you have left comes up and you've got a little bit more to work with. And so we just watch that account balance and do the simple division in our mind about how many days are left. Now, communication, here's why communication is vital to this account. Any expenditures that are outside of your normal household, your food, your gas that you spend to go to work, maybe a few clothes that you've talked about, we're probably going to spend this month, have to be talked about. So if your lawnmower dies, husband, and you've got $200 left in the account and 10 days left, and your lawnmower is going to be $150, then you can't just go, it's not prudent just to go take that debit card and spend that money because you know it's in there. That's too big of an expenditure, and we've got to work with the amount of days we have left. Now, it may be the right expenditure, it may be okay, but it's important to talk to your spouse so that together you know, hey, we're going to have to be really careful the rest of the month because we got to buy that lawnmower, but we've talked about it, we understand what that's going to mean in our lives, and so let's do it. But any large expenditures, let's call them any expenditures out of the norm, really need to be talked about so that you don't overextend yourself in this account. Now, some of you may be saying, oh my gosh, if I've got $800 in that account at the first day of the month and I've got debit card access and I know that my house payment's taken care of and my doctor bills, that I'm planning for them, I'm liable to spend every bit of that the first week. Well, it's okay if you do, but it's going to be tuna fish sandwiches for the rest of the 3 weeks because you ain't got any more money and I don't know where you're going to get gas. But here's another way to automate that so you protect yourself. Because listen, some of us out there struggle with this, and that's okay. That's what the system's for. The system is designed to help you in areas that you may be weaker. Do this. Take that $800 and divide it by 4 weeks of the month and have your bank at the 1st, the 7th, or every Monday, however you want to set it up. This is your account. Make it do what you want to. Put $200 a week in that account. Now, if you spend $200 on the first day of the week, or you spend $150 and overdo it, gosh, we've only got $50 left for this week, but at least I didn't risk what was left in the remainder of the month. So I've only got to wait, 6 more days or 5 more days till I get a restart. That's okay. Build the system to suit you. This system should never be the stick we use to beat each other over the head with, right? This is our system. It's meant to give us peace. It's meant to create more prosperity in our life. It's meant to be a tool for us to use. And it's okay to tailor make it for yourself. I started out with this exact same base system, but I've modified it myself. My system now, today, doesn't look exactly like the base that I'm showing you, but I'm still using the system, and it's still working. And I'll show you a little modification that we made in the very next chapter. Thanks for joining us. If you have any comments or questions, hit me below. I'm going to try my best to answer those and to help as many people out as I can. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next chapter.